Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to JWE Friday Night Eclipse. Tonight we're in Indianapolis, Indiana, where we're coming off our 1 week-long break to witness the aftermath of our Against the Odds PLE. Will Nagito once again push through the pain of his injured ribs and cement himself as a true Cruiserweight champion? How will Delta fare in her first match back as Women's Cruiserweight champion? Find out tonight as we get ready for yet another night of high-intensity offense and endless drama, because this is Eclipse. And here we go, starting off our night with what would have been a champion versus champion match had Jayden not lost the championship belt to Raiden.
Making his way to the ring from Wisconsin, weighing in at 132 pounds, Jayden Moore.
Although I did talk to him backstage after that match, and, he said that while he's not thrilled about losing the championship belt, honestly, it was probably best to lose it to Raiden, considering just how low of a point he's been. And, that did turn into 2 wins in a row, so maybe Jayden is the true springboard of hope. And his opponent, somehow still your men's Cruiserweight champion, defending the belt from 4 different people a couple of Sundays ago.
From Japan, weighing in,
It is Nagito Komaeda.
the men's undisputed hybrid Cruiserweight champion with Kobayashi.
Pushing through the pain of Sir Bones' injuries, or the injuries that he sustained while fighting Sir Bones about 2 weeks back. Still a champion, which is really damn surprising, to put it bluntly. Here we go, referee rings the bell, they meet in the middle. Jayden just sizing up his opponents. Nagito taking the early initiative. Couple of knees to the gut, forcing Jayden back up to his feet. And a 180 scoop slam. Elbow to the lower back. And a falling leg breaker just for good measure. Nagito another elbow to the inside part of the leg, and now going for the pin. There's 1, there's 2. Jayden kicks out. Early 2 count. I wonder if he was just trying to take an extra second to catch his breath or what. It's a little out of character. Jayden slipping out from behind, looking to get a little bit of offense of his own, walking Nagito over to the western ropes. Kick to the thighs, or kicks to the thigh rather. Now tossing Nagito to the outside. And if I were the Blue Jay, if I were Jayden, which I am, but you know what I mean, I would focus most of my attacks on Nagito's chest, considering that he is still suffering from injured ribs. He is cleared to fight, like medical staff has cleared him to fight, but he is still clearly showing signs of discomfort. Jayden heading up top. Elbow drop and nobody's home. Nagito pull back into a knee to the stomach. I think Jayden might have gotten a little bit winded off of that, considering his reaction. Looking for a senton, Jayden rolling out of the way. Nagito with the block. And now getting a little bit of offense of his own in. Hammer punch to the spine. Nagito, they top rope moonsault, going for the pin. There's one. Jayden kicks out. Nagito with a frog splash. And another pin attempt. There's one, there's two. Jayden again pushes out. Can't really get any sort of offense, anything going right now. Right now, it's all Nagito. Nagito sending into the corner and a running elbow into the stomp. And I think that might be it. There's one, there's two, and indeed, Jayden does not kick out, and Nagito is still showing that not only can he still win, he can still win in dominant fashion. Rib injury be damned. Nagito is still on top of the Cruiserweight world. And for our next matchup, it is between two faces that we haven't seen in quite some time, or at least it feels like it. Introducing first, it is the undying one, Undyne. And her opponent, it is the Umbral Witch herself, Bayonetta.
From the other side of darkness, the Witch.
And I genuinely cannot remember the last time we've seen Bayonetta in the ring. Certainly been a while. At least it feels like it. The referee rings the bell, Bayonetta immediately running towards Undyne and tripping her. Undyne back up to her feet, quite unsure about what just happened. Bayonetta taking full advantage of the confusion, throwing Undyne into the corner, setting her up in an early tree of woe. And now Bayonetta slowing this match down. Heading up top. Quite ironic that she said a prayer. And there we go. Diving cross country. Kick to the spine. Now Undyne on the offense. Giving Bayonetta a little bit of her own special with the stomps. And now a headlock from behind, looking for the submission, but Bayonetta just a little bit too long. Rope break, and there's another trip. Wrist lock. Stomping the face into the mat right next to the apron. Bayonetta winning the grapple again, picking Undyne up. And a snake eyes right into the corner. Pin attempt, there's only one though. Bayonetta's forcing Undyne into the corner, but Undyne bouncing off, nice elbow getting the reversal. Springboard satellite DDT. And slamming Bayo's head into the canvas. And Undyne with the monster's elbow. And now setting up the fish hook submission. Bayonetta immediately finding her way out. Undyne out on the apron, Bayonetta with a running spear knocking her off. Undyne staring down her adversary, climbing back into the ring, Bayonetta waiting for her. Immediately into the Witch Time neckbreaker. And a very delayed pin. Not quite sure what was going on there. There's one, there's two. Those delayed couple of seconds might have been the difference. Bayonetta with the kicks to the chest. Clothesline. Picking up Undyne, walking her over to the corner, face first. Another snake eyes. Looking for the top rope moonsault. Undyne getting out of the way now, using the advantage using Bayonetta's being on the ground to her advantage, going for the pin. There's a 2 count, but no 3. Undyne walking Bayonetta away from the ropes. Stomp to the spine. Picking up Undyne, fish hook suplex. There's one, there's two, and Bayonetta kicks out. Undyne using the opportunity to get her daily training in. There's a clothesline again. And Undyne lining up another monster's elbow. But Bayonetta getting out of the way of that. Almost said Undyne. Nope, Bayonetta getting out of the way. Nice Hurricane Rana off the Irish Whip. Another moonsault, this one connects. Very painfully looking. Undyne again to the outside, Bayonetta up top. Nice! Diving backflip double foot drop kick. And a single shoulder neck breaker along the outside. And now leg DDT right onto the concrete. Forcing Undyne back into the ring. Bayonetta taunting from the apron. Undyne staring her down immediately, getting caught by a neck breaker. There's the pin, there's one, there's two. Undyne kicks out. Bayonetta with the axe kick. Stomp to the spine and now heading to the outside, crawling back in. Not quite sure what's on Bayonetta's mind. Looking for the spiral tap. Undyne getting out of the way, but armbar now locked in. Bayonetta could win this by submission. But no. Undyne gets out. Third trip of the match from Undyne. From Bayonetta, excuse me. Bayonetta? No, Bayonetta. Snap mirror kick to the spine. And now Bayonetta heading up top. And the pin, there's one, there's two, and Undyne will not kick out.
Here is your winner, the Witch.
And Bayonetta showing that she is still a force to be reckoned in the women's Universal Division. And now for our first Falls Count Anywhere match. Introducing first, it is the ringleader, Jaren.
Making his way to the ring from Cleveland, Ohio, weighing in at 155 pounds, Jaren!
And his opponent,
And his opponent,
coming up just short of winning the championship belt on Sunday during the roulette match. Almost said gauntlet match. Technically, it was a gauntlet match, but during the roulette match. But still with his eyes on the prize. Ironic considering that he's blindfolded. It is 9S. And now both men meet in the middle of the ring. 9S immediately sending Jaren into the corner. With Jaren elbowing out. And a facebuster right next to the corner. Jaren springboard. Satellite DDT connects. And a snap DDT. The 9S with the reversal, sweeping the legs from underneath Jaren. Springboard moonsault connects. And the pin, there's one. Jaren kicks out. Jaren rolling out of the ring. 9S chasing him down, Jaren back in. Snap mirror. Into the leg drop. And now Jaren just stomping on the fingers of 9S. Forcing him back up to his feet. Pull back. Neckbreaker. Jaren with the left hand, ground and pound. Stomp to the wrist. Stomp to the upper arm. And Jaren not allowing 9S to even get up to his feet. Jaren up top. Elbow drop and 9S getting out of the way, seeing that coming. Not quite sure how effective a back rake is when you're wearing gloves. Don't think 9S really thought that one through. 9S calling his shot. As we finally begin the Falls Count Anywhere portion of this match. Takedown armbar. 9S looking to win this by submission along the outside. Jaren with a sharp elbow getting out. Jaren sending 9S back into the ring. Whether not realizing that it's a Falls Count Anywhere or just not caring, perhaps finding a little bit more safety within the ring. Doesn't really matter. There's a DDT, there's one. There's two, 9S kicks out. Jaren heading up top. Telling 9S to get up to his feet. Diving ankle kick, probably not wanting to get reversed on the elbow drop again. Scissor kick. And the pin, there's one, there's two. 9S kicks out. Nines retaliating with the recoil. There's one, there's two. Jaren kicks out. Nines springboard moonsault. Connects. Jaren, nice reversal. 9S with a block, but Jaren just continuing nonetheless. There's a knife edge chop. Jaren with another DDT. And now just Captain Morganing on 9S's head. Stomp to the jaw. Now Jaren in the corner. Middle rope, walking the tightrope. Looking for the alley-oop elbow drop. But 9S gets out of the way. There's a knee strike off the Irish whip. Jaren in one corner. 9S other corner. Jaren with a nice reversal. Scoop. Slam. This could be it. There's one. There's two. And 9S gets his shoulder up just in time. Nines with the reversal, rolling Jaren onto his back. Shot to the top of the head. 9S sending Jaren to the outside. Nines another reversal. Both men really do know each other, considering just how many reversals they've been able to put on. Another armbar, putting the torque on Jaren's back. And Jaren forced a tap out. And 9S winning this by submission. And for our first tag team match of the evening, introducing first, it is the Ultimate Pianist and your Miss Money in the Bank and the Ultimate Assassin. It is Kaede Akamatsu and Maki Harukawa, the Killer Tunes. And their opponent, it is your former women's tag team champions for a month. It is Melia Antiqua and Nia Ascension. which honestly is a much better name than the third. Who in their right mind would name a tag team the third? Certainly not me. Nope, couldn't be me. Plot twist it was. Here we go, Maki, Nia, the first in the ring. Referee rings the bell. I think Nia walked a little bit too soon, but it doesn't really matter. It's not like there's a false start penalty in WWE. At least something I know of. Nia just wrapping the arm around the top rope, putting pressure on Maki's joints. On the shoulder, on the tendons there. Inside part of the elbow. Now Melia tagged in. And a nice double elbow there. And Melia sending Maki face first into the canvas with that hair toss. Melia forcing Maki back up to her feet, sending her into the corner. Maki finally having enough, getting her knee up in the corner. Going after Nia, but... well, Nia not having any of that, and Melia sending Maki down with a stiff left hand. Maki trying to crawl back to the corner, but just not having enough energy. But somehow having enough energy for that reversal. Perhaps playing possum a little bit. Maki finally making her way to the corner and tagging in Kaede. Kaede with a trip. Sending Nia for an Irish whip, looking for the uppercut. But Nia with a reversal, getting an uppercut of her own and into the Enziguri. Chicken wing suplex. And Nia going for a quick pin. There's one. Kaede kicks out. Nia taking in Melia. Kaede with a knife edge shot, but being forced into the corner as Melia tags Nia back in. And the Intercontinental Ballistic Missile. And a kick to the spine. One of those sounds cooler than the other. Nia with another Enziguri. And now heading up top. Elbow drop to the shoulder. Here comes the pin, but Maki is going to break it up before the 1 count. Maki making her leave. And now Nia with a neck breaker. Into the bridging arm, or into the bridging headlock. And referee calling the submission off, probably thinking that there was a rope break. I'm not entirely sure why. They were close to the ropes, I don't think close enough. Kaede with a forearm, and now the pin, there's one. And now it's Nia's turn to kick out at 1. Being sent into the corner. Now Kaede tagging in Maki, and now the Killer Tunes first double attack. Maki now with the cover. There's one. Nia kicks out. Now just applying torque, applying pressure on the neck. Sending Nia into the corner, and again, Kaede tagged in. Another tag team attack. Melia desperately trying to get the tag, but Kaede preventing that. Scoop slam. And the pin. Will this be another 1 count? Yes, it will. An even faster kick out. Nia being sent into the corner yet again. This time elbowing out. Sending Kaede for a run on the longest line in the ring from one corner to another. Corner double foot stomp. And Nia preventing a tag out. Snap mirror. Another enzigiri. And the pin attempt. There's one. There's two. Kaede kicks out. Kaede with the reversal. Kick to the leg. Nia could easily tag out here, but I think she's a little bit too stunned. Kaede tagging in Maki. And now Nia with the Hurricane Rana toss. How did she find the strength there? There's two. Maki kicks out. Honestly, I thought that was going to be a 619. Nia tags out. Melia in. Melia sending Maki for a run. Again into the corner. Huge knife edge chop. Maki kicking her way out. And now over the shoulders. Lining up. The F5. And the pin. Nia coming in, break it up. I think Melia might have been able to kick out. But it would have been close. Certainly would have been close. Melia, elbow in the corner, clothesline. And now Maki tagging out. Immediately catching Kaede with an interceptor. Headlock applied. Melia trying to take this one with a submission, but Maki's going to play defense. Elbows in the, or excuse me, spears in the corner. And now Melia allowing yet another tag out. Maki looking for the Superman punch, not even close. Now Melia heading up top. Telling Maki to get up to her feet. Cross body. And the pin, there's one, there's two. Maki kicks out, not needing Kaede's help. Melia turning Maki around. Facebuster. And the pin for the win. There's one, there's two, and Maki just gets her shoulder up. Nia tagged back in. Hopefully she knows what to do. And again, just running into her teammate because she didn't know what corner to go to. That really does seem to be an issue with this game. Nia with another Enzigiri. And now heading up top. Turning around. Cork, screw, shooting star press, and the pin. There's one, there's two, and Maki still finding the strength to kick out. Maki finally getting out of the corner. Trying to make this comeback. There's an elbow to the inside part of the arm. Not quite tagging out. Finger breaker. How did Maki turn Nia around with that? Not quite sure. Stomp to the inside part of the arm, and now finally Maki taking it out. Standing shotgun dropkick from Nia. There's an arm breaker. Now Nia trying to catch a breather, tagging in her partner. That's what they're there for. But Kaede with a stunner. Melia immediately up to her knees. But Kaede sending her back down. Kaede with a leg lock. Trying to make Melia tap. But Melia fighting her way out. Throwing Kaede into the corner. Again taking in Nia. One more ICBM. And now Nia. Heading up top. Lining up. Hammer punch. Here's the pin. There's one. There's two. And Kaede not getting any help from Maki. I don't think Maki thought that was enough. Well, that late in the match, you probably shouldn't take any risks. And that allows Nia to get the 3 count off of a rather innocuous hammer punch. And for a second tag team match of the evening. Introducing first. It is the Skelebros. Papyrus and Sans. That is a very uncomfortable order of saying that. Usually it's Sans and Papyrus. I don't know why Papyrus and Sans just doesn't sound quite as good. Is there like a neurological reason for that? Like apples and oranges versus oranges and apples. Like oranges and apples just doesn't sound right. Maybe it's we're just so used to hearing it one way that hearing it the other way. Whatever. This is not a philosophy channel, as much as I try to make it be. And their opponents. It is Yu Narukami and Yosuke Hanamura Brosona. Making their way to the ring with Risei Kujikawa. Here goes Sans and Narukami, the first in the ring. The two team captains. Referee rings bell. Narukami immediately with a springboard forearm. Sending Sans for a run, diving underneath, jumping over the top, and a pop-up punch. But Sans with an enziguri getting out. Elbow drop and Narukami with the reversal. Narukami tagging in Hanamura. And Sans with a drop kick, and now tagging in Papyrus. Yosuke staring down Papyrus, winning the grapple, tossing him right into the referee. And now finally taking Papyrus into the corner. Hanamura turning him around, face first into the turnbuckle, kick to the calf. And Hanamura tagging in Narukami again. Narukami somehow picking up Papyrus using only his neck. Interesting. There's one. Papyrus kicks out. Papyrus sending Narukami into a run, I would say, but no, Narukami with a reversal. Whack out combo. And now just taunting a Papyrus before hitting him over the head with a hammer punch. Narukami going for a pin that's blocked by Risei. Thank you, Kujikawa. Very nice. Or very cool, I should say. Papyrus kicking Yosuke off of him. And now sending Hanamura into the corner. Finally tagging in Sans. Irish whip. Into the double back body drop. And a double leg drop kick right to the spine. Sans with the ground and pound stomp to the stomach. Kick to the spine. Now Sans tagging in Papyrus. Yosuke tossing Papyrus back into their corner. turning him around. Now just wrapping the arm around the top rope. Arm drag off the top rope. Papyrus climbing back up to his feet. Yosuke with a knife edge chop. Papyrus with the reversal. Sending Yosuke into the corner. But Yosuke taking advantage of that one beat from Papyrus, elbowing himself out. Now sending Papyrus into the corner, face first into the turnbuckle. And Papyrus with the reversals. Clothesline connects. And a kick right to the spine. Papyrus now tagging in Sans. Sans with a clothesline going for the pin. There's one. Papyrus kicks out. Or excuse me, Yosuke kicks out. Sans forcing Yosuke back up to his feet. Toss into the corner, tagging in Papyrus. Papyrus immediately elbowing out of the grapple. And it looks like Brosona's once very strong lead quickly dwindling. The Skelebros finding their rhythm. Yosuke finally Desperado tag, sending Narukami back into the rings immediately. Caught by Sans. Sans forcing Narukami back up to his feet. Irish whip into the corner. And a kick to the thigh. And now chaos along the outside. I was waiting for this to happen. See, it's like once a night at least, everyone forgets that they're part of a tag team match and not a tornado tag match. And yeah. Five count. Sans tossing Narukami into Papyrus. Narukami picking up Sans over the shoulders. Discus punch now. There's 8. They really need to get back into the ring. Yep, okay, they managed to get back into the ring. Corner enziguri from Narukami. And now hyping himself up. Whiffing on the punch, but sending Sans into a pullback, knee to the gut. And now Narukami picking up Sans, tossing him into the corner, going for the pin here. Papyrus breaks it up. Thought Sans was going to go for the rope break, honestly. Thought he would be cognizant enough to try the rope break. Narukami with a pullback and knee to the jaw. And the ground and pound stomp to the stomach. Double knees to the spine. Narukami tagging in Yosuke yet again. But Sans with a scissor kick. Yosuke back up to his feet. Just a little bit faster than Sans. Using the ropes as leverage. And here we go, another top rope flip arm drag. And the pin, not quite sure about that. There's one, there's two. I mean, it's good to put pressure. It's a little bit doubtful that that was it. Sans with the spear. And now in control yet again. Forcing Yosuke back up to his feet. Elbow. Sending Yosuke into the corner. Referee blocking Sans. Is there some collusion going on there? Sans with a corner scoop slam. And the get dunked on. Narukami coming to the aid of Yosuke. Hurricane Rana into the pin. There's one, there's two. Sans kicks out. Yosuke sending Sans into the corner. And a scoop slam of his own. Middle rope. Telling Sans to get up to his feet. Satellite, corner DDT, and the pin. This could be it. There's one. There's two. Rise cheering him on. Sans kicks out. Yosuke tagging Narukami back into the ring. Honestly surprised that Yosuke hasn't tried to do a fireball punch yet. Narukami positioning himself to prevent the tag. But Sans fighting out with the uppercut. Facebuster elbow drop. And tagging Papyrus back in. Back to square one. Backpack takedown into the pin attempt. Narukami getting out before the 1 count. Not quite sure what Rise was trying to do on the apron. Papyrus setting Narukami up. Top rope, avalanche, neck breaker suplex. Narukami takes out. And now Papyrus preventing preventing Narukami from leaving the ring. Armbar. What is going on? Hanamura going for the pin. There's two. Sans in the ring, just a little bit too late. Yeah, we are clearly devolving here. Hanamura just breaking Papyrus's arms along the outside. Referee already up to the count of 4. Papyrus catching the kick. There's 5. Papyrus with a stunner along the outside. There's 6. 7 as Papyrus sends a Hanamura face first into the ring post. There's 8. There's 9. And this war of a tag team match ending in countout. Honestly, that was probably the only way that match could have ended, considering that Hanamura just decided never to use his signature, never to use his finisher. I don't get it. Just get back into the damn ring, it's not that hard. And for our next matchup of the evening, introducing first, representing the Cyber Idols, and remember, she technically is part of the Cruiserweight division, even though she also participates quite a lot in tag team matches. It is Ibuki Mioda. And I want to see y'all dancing. That was cringe, I'm sorry. And her opponent. It is your newest Women's Cruiserweight Champion. It is Delta.
And from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, the Women's Undisputed Hybrid Cruiserweight Champion, Deborah.
Here we go, Ibuki losing her championship belt at Against the Odds, Delta gaining hers at Against the Odds. Ibuki sending Delta into the corner. Monkey flip immediately from Ibuki. And immediately it's a side clone kick. And another side clone kick from Ibuki, going for the quick pin. Delta kicks out at 1. Ibuki cranking on the neck of the Cruiserweight champion, stomp to the wrist. Delta getting out. Snap mirror of her own. Into the rolling neck breaker. Now Delta looking for her first bit of offense this match. Ibuki rolling back into the ring, Delta rolling to the outside. Ibuki rolling to the outside, Delta sliding in, playing musical chairs. Like, we are legitimately playing musical chairs here. I have no idea what's going on. This isn't even a falls count anywhere, so I have no idea what's going on. There's a 5 count. Just make it back to the ring, please. Delta walking Ibuki back to the ring, tossing her in. Climbing in herself, thankfully. Not a count out. Ibuki with the reversal. Delta elbowing out. Looking to make a little bit of a comeback here, but Ibuki again kicking herself out. Delta the reversal right back. Delta with a suplex into the pin attempt, but Ibuki kicks out. Delta springboard, head scissor, Hurricane Rana. And Ibuki rolling to the outside, trying to catch her breath. Delta up top. And a flying dropkick connects. Delta knee to the face, rolling elbow. Ibuki with the reversal. Hurricane Rana of her own. There's 5. Ibuki retreats back inside the ring. Delta just a few more seconds. There's a 7 back up to her feet. There's 8. And she's in. Immediately caught by the Kojai clutch. Ibuki looking for the submission. Delta, no, Ibuki releases the hold for some reason. Now pin attempt, there's 1, there's 2, Delta kicks out. Bottom rope springboard, Delta rolling out of the way. And now walking Ibuki into the corner, throwing her into the corner, pulling her back. Tree of Woe, and you know what time it is. It is time to fly through the skies on Delta Airlines. I hope you enjoyed our flight. Hope to see you next time. Delta going for the pin. There's 1, there's 2. Ibuki kicks out just marginally before 3. Delta desperately wanting to put this one away. Taking her down with an armbar, pulling back, looking to win by submission here. Can Ibuki fight out? No, Delta releases a hold. Again, not quite sure why the AI are so adamant about releasing submission holds. I don't get it. There's a pin. 1, 2, and Ibuki will not kick out. And what a way to start your title defense. And for our penultimate matchup of the evening, introducing first, it is your men's Universal Champion. It is the Mad Dog of Shimano, Goro Majima. Majima somehow surviving his match against the Eggman and continues to hold the belt. And his opponent, it is the Dragon of Dojima, Kazuma Kiryu. And referee rings the bell. Majima immediately running towards Kiryu and hitting him with a clothesline. And a double leg drop kick. Majima sending Kiryu for an Irish whip. Standing double leg drop kick. Kick to the stomp to the arm. And Kiryu rolling to the rolling out onto the apron. Majima with a double leg drop kick, sending Kiryu off. Kiryu fighting his way out. Tossing Majima back inside the ring, not entertaining fighting along the outside. At least not quite yet. Suplex. Majima continuing the combo. Nearly walking Kiryu from one corner to the other. Now Majima sending Kiryu for an Irish whip. There's a double leg drop kick, and now the pin. There's one. Kiryu kicks out. Majima with a neck breaker. And an elbow drop. Kiryu with the dragon screw, now just bouncing Majima's head off the canvas. Forcing him back up to his feet. Irish whip. Into the powerbomb. Rolling Majima onto his back. Heel hook. And Majima kicking his way out. Forcing Kiryu back up to his feet. Rolling neck breaker. Kiryu back up to his feet. Majima immediately sending him out onto the apron. And a hot shot stunner sends him off. Majima just staring him down. Finally joining him along the outside. Now Kiryu with a face buster, or the reverse suplex. And immediately heading back into the ring, again not entertaining any thoughts about fighting along the outside. Majima slow to his feet, staring down his rival. And now finally jumping back in. Kiryu immediately looking for the tiger drop, but Majima knows Kiryu the best. Nice reversal into a running kick. We're running a basement big boot. Looking for the victory roll, but Kiryu with the reversal. Majima rolling out of the way. And kicking his way out. Sleeper hold applied. And Kiryu immediately fights his way out. Majima walking Kiryu back. Majima, what are you doing? Kiryu finally having enough, elbowing out. And now both men heading into the ring in sync with each other. And now Majima, the recoil, the pin. There's one, there's two, and Kiryu kicks out. Standing shooting star. Now Majima with the stomps to the hand, forcing Kiryu back up to his feet. Arm drag into the dropkick, but Kiryu blocking that. Sending Majima into the corner. Corner splash. Sending Majima down. Hit attempt here. There's one. Majima kicks out. Kiryu turning Majima around. Over the shoulder face plant. And now lining up what I'm suspecting to be, yes, Kiryu with the tiger drop. And the pin, there's one, there's two, and Majima gets his shoulder up. Probably one of the only men in the world who can actually kick out of a tiger drop. Kiryu sending Majima face first into the steel plate. Majima, they standing shooting suppress along the outside. There's 6. They really need to think about heading back into the ring now. Majima forcing Kiryu back up to his feet. Walking him back, tossing him back inside the ring. Not wanting to win against his rival via countout. I don't think Kiryu wants to win via countout either. There's a Victor Roll double stomp. Now Majima. Pendulum backbreaker into the neckbreaker and the pin. There's 1, 2. Kiryu doesn't kick out. And another certified classic between Majima and Kiryu. I swear, every time these two share the ring together, it's like magic. And for our main event of the evening, introducing first, it is A2.
Making her way to the ring from Valhalla, A2.
And her opponent, it is 2B. Now refereeing Isabel on our main event, A2 immediately hitting 2B with a clothesline. And I forgot to mention, this is a Falls Count Anywhere match. So fighting along the outside, not only permitted, but expected. A2 with a kick right to the spine of 2B, rolling around to her side again. There's another kick to the spine. Looking for the stomp, but 2B rolling out of the way, elbow drop, or excuse me, back elbow, not an elbow drop, but back elbow. Picking A2 back up to her feet. Irish whip sending A2 into the corner. Scoop slam. And the early pin attempt, there's one. A2 kicks out. To be with a scoop slam, or no, with a scoop slam, with a, my god, I'm literally forgetting the name of it. Snap mirror. A2 with the reversal. Sending 2B to the outside, out onto the apron. backbreaker out onto the apron. Tubi with the right hands. Snaps duplex. Looking for the delayed suplex, but A2 slipping out from behind. Tossing 2B face first into the apron, going for the pin. There's one. There's not two as 2B kicks out. A2 just stomping 2B in the face, and again. Over the shoulders. Looking for the submission, but 2B, elbowing herself out. Slowly making their way to the ramp. 2B forcing A2 up to her feet, looking to get a little bit of offense going, tossing her back into the ring. Looking to make things a little bit traditional yet again. Avoiding the grapple. Scoop slam. A2 looking for the suplex, but 2B with the reversal. Backbreaker. A2 to the outside. 2B up top, staring her down. And now going for the pin. Referee taking his sweet time and allowing A2 to kick out before a 1 count, before the referee could even begin the count. A2 with the reversal, sending 2B into the ring. Turning 2B around over the shoulders. Another back stretch, another abdominal stretch, looking for the submission. And releases. A2 fighting out from the corner. Irish whip. Single leg drop kick. And 2B forcing A2 up to her feet, spinning heel kick. Trying to put this one away. There's one, there's two, and A2 kicks out. Knife edge chop. 2B with the back elbows. And the clotheslines, single leg drop kick. A2 kicking herself out. Walking 2B from one side of the ring to the corner. Turning her around, setting her up. A2 looking for the avalanche powerbomb. And now over the shoulders. F10. That could be it. 2B did sustain significant damage from those two attacks, and yes, 2B, it is not 2B for her.
Here is your winner,
And as we watch A2 celebrate, I would like to thank you all for joining us here tonight, and hope to see you in just a couple of weeks' time for our Extreme Rules pay-per-view event. But until then, we are signing out from the backyard of the Brickyard, Indianapolis, Indiana. See ya.